A whole bunch of people went to the OL. People are saying kill him. And I'm happy to hear that Ben Netanyahu himself also mentioned Hashem's name with Hashem's help, and he mentioned he mentioned the pasuk concerning Balak, Hanam, Kaleva, Yakum. Anyways, I wanted to learn something today. Not much people here. It's a Gemara, but it's an interesting story. You want to hear it? Okay. In Tractate, I never did this before. Not this year. Tractate Tinus, which is a tractate that discusses fast days, all kinds of prayers, but this is not related to fasting. It's on page 21b in Tractate Tinus, which has about 32 pages. On page 21b, you'll have two stories. One is about a doctor who merited to have Hashem, through a baskol, through a heavenly voice, greet him, Shalom Aleichem, every single day, because of his righteous. So righteous was he that Abaye and Rava, the two sages of the Gemara, were very jealous, because Abaye only once a week had that baskol coming to him, that heavenly voice greeting him, and Rava only once a year, Erev Yom Kippur. Explain in a minute why those days. But he had every single day. He's a doctor, wasn't a scholar, a doctor, a bloodletter. In those days, bloodletting, suctioning blood was a way of healing, as we'll see in the Gemara here. And his actions were so powerful. Abaye wanted to know what's his secret? What does he do? And you'll soon see Abaye sent some agents, some of his secret Hasidim, to test him. It's an interesting Gemara. Let's see the Gemara inside. First, pass it down. Right here. Only standing room, no sitting. You get to stand. There's no room to sit here. Everyone's very excited about this one. Yeah, you can see. So when you're here on this side of the page, where I have a line over here, the Gemara relates the following story about a tzaddik who was a doctor, a surgeon. You look at footnote 20, specifically a bloodletter. Rashi says, bloodletting was still until recent times a medical procedure performed at regular intervals to promote general health, as well as to treat an illness. Abba, that's his name. Abba's a name. Umna, the surgeon. Hava osile shlama. Greetings would come to him, mimisifta dirakia, from the heavenly academy in heaven. Kol yoma, every day. Well, Abaye, the great sage Abaye, who appears on almost every single page in the Talmud, famous, who doesn't know who Abaye is? Abaye and Rava, these are the two that are so frequently mentioned in throughout the whole Shas. He didn't get that schus. Only Fridays. Kol Maile Yom Shabbata. He would only receive such greetings every Friday. The Rava Kol Maile Yom Kippurei, and Rava would get only on Yom Kippur Eve. Havakachol Shadai Abaye. From the Abba Umna, Abaye felt distressed because of Abba the surgeon. Why is he getting that schus? What is wrong with what I'm doing that I only have it once a week? And wondered, why did he not merit to receive these greetings just as frequently? Amrullah, they said to Abaye, nothing. It's not your fault. Nothing you're doing that could change it. Your job is to be a teacher, to be a Rosh Hashiva, to teach Torah. You can never have this schus. He's a doctor, and your job is not to change your job and become a doctor to get his schus. That wouldn't be the right thing to do. You were born to be a teacher, a Rosh Hashiva. He was born to be a surgeon. In fact, his father, the father of this person, the grandfather, they were all surgeons. They were all doctors. So it's in the family. What is this schus? We'll soon see. What kind of schus did he have? What was so special about this doctor that deserved that the Shekhinah, the divine presence through a baskol, should greet him every single day? Amrullah, they said to Abaye, don't be jealous. Nothing wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. You are not able to perform deeds such as his. So nothing short. What you're doing is perfect. You're teaching. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You can't be doing what he's doing. What is he so special about? What are his actions, his deeds that are so meritorious? Umay havo uvade de abba umana. And what were the special deeds, uvade, like deeds, actions of Abba, the umana, the surgeon? And the Gemara starts off telling you what the story. When he would perform the procedure of letting blood, he would separate the men from the women because they would often mix. He would place He would place the men separately and the women separately to prevent their commingling. Sometimes they might not have liked it. He might lose some customers, and things like today. I want to socialize with my girlfriend. He made sure that there should be separate rooms. And here's another thing he did. When he had to bloodlet, he had a suction tube, and he had a special. So you have to let blood. The person's body is exposed, whether it's the arm or the other part of the body. And with a woman, he didn't want to have himself look at her while her body's exposed. Also, would make her feel uncomfortable. So he put on. He had a special garment that had a little slit in it, and through that slit, he would have this lancet, this needle that he would inject through a suction tube, let the blood out through the needle. The lancet would go would stick into her skin, but it's covered from all sides, and the suction tube would let out the blood. She should feel uncomfortable of being exposed in front of him. So this is a schus he had. In Hebrew, let's see in the actual one. The Islay Levusho de Isbekarna. He had a garment which had a cupping horn. Sinor Yinika, a cupping horn attached to it. He translates a cupping horn here. He translates here in the footnote 24 on the bottom. The patient would put on a large, loose garment that had a slit in it. Abba would insert the lancet, the needle, through the slit to make the incision into the vein. Then the garment would be adjusted so that the cupping horn, which is the tube, sewn into the garment, could be moved over the place where he made the incision, and the blood could then be drawn through the horn, all without the patient having to expose any part of her body. So this is one thing he did. We'll see more things. So that he would not have to look at her exposed body, make her feel uncomfortable as well. He did this. How was he ever paid? Did he get paid? He had a special room where if you wanted to pay, you paid. If you felt you can't afford it, you didn't pay, no one would know, because it was in a room where no one could tell whether you paid or not. The doctor did not ask for payment. He had a special room, a little pushka box, put in money if you want to, and if you can't afford it, then don't. Most doctors don't do that. He had a private place, but no one can see, outside his operating room, in which the patients would deposit the coins he took as his fee. But he didn't ask for much. Whatever you can afford. And if you can't afford anything, then don't pay. The Islay, whoever had the money and could afford to pay, would deposit money in it. The Leslay, whoever did not have the money and was not embarrassed because no one could see who paid and who did not. Lo michsif, he didn't get embarrassed. So he not only did not charge, he made sure that the person who didn't pay, no one would know about. Kihava Islam, he also didn't know about. Kihava Islam, but whenever a rabbi, a patient was a young Torah scholar, even if the Torah scholar can afford to pay, he would say, I'm not taking any money. And if you're going to pay me, I won't deal with you. On one condition, you want to be my patient? You can't pay me. And if you pay me, I'll tell you out. So he did not allow any rabbi, any Torah scholar to pay him. He would accept no fee from him. When the patient would get up and leave, Ab would give him some coins. He would pay him. Go and restore your health. Because very often scholars don't learn a whole day and they don't take care of their bodies very well. And they need sometimes to refresh themselves. So he says, go and restore your health, buy this, buy that. Take this money and buy something to eat and to regain your strength after the loss of blood. Especially if they lose blood, then also it weakens you. So he would do that. He would not only not let them pay, he would pay them for a meal. After hearing the praises of Abba, surgeon, Abaye decided, wow, well, let me try to invest. Let's really see how great he is. Yom Echad, one day, Shadar Abaye was a little bit apprehensive and felt bad about the fact that he's not getting all the same schus of a heavenly welcoming. One day Abaye sent a pair of rabbis to test him. Osvinu v'achlinu v'ashkinu. When they came, Abba set them down, fed them, gave them to drink. Umachlahu bistarki belelia, and folded up woolen rugs tichim, woolen rugs for them to sleep at night. They had a beautiful night, cool rugs, and gave them all the food they needed, like a 5-star hotel. Next page is 22A1. The next page, 22A1. With Safra in the morning, they rolled them up, and they stole them and took them, just to see how his reaction will be. He didn't see them take it, but the Kamel in the morning, he was at work. The Kamel v'nafka lahu l'shuka, and he rose and went out to the marketplace, and they found him in the marketplace. But Ashkechino, they found Abba, the surgeon. Amruleh, they said to him, "L'shaymei mar hechi travel. We'd like to sell these rugs. Evaluate, master, our dear doctor, how much of these rugs are worth, and buy them, and we'd like you to buy them from us." Amalahu, he said to them, "Hachi v'hachi, this is what they're worth." Amalahu said, maybe a little more. Perhaps they're worth more. Amalahu, he said to them, this is what I bought them for. And he realized that he recognized that these were actually his. Amalahu said to him, Didachinu, yeah, it's yours. We're just trying to test you. Vishaklinu, here, take. We weren't trying to sell it. We're just trying to test, see if you get angry, what you're going to do to us. You can take it back. It's yours. We actually stole it, but we had in mind to give it back to you anyways. So we're not violating the laws of Gneva because we had in mind to give it back to you. Not so simple, by the way. You got to steal from somebody with the intent of giving back? Not so simple. But this was not known. This is only if it's known to the person. You're causing a lot of pain to the person by stealing. But for most of the time, except for the last few seconds, he didn't even know that they stole it. So the guy you stole from doesn't even know that you stole, and you can plan to give it back, and you're doing it not to cause him pain, but rather to test him. They felt it was okay. Okay. But they asked him a question. Tell me, you were so calm. What were you thinking about when you saw that we stole your rugs and we asked for money and wanted to sell it to you? What were you thinking about? What were your thoughts about us? You know what he said? I did not think you were thieves. Amruleh, they said to him, please tell us, what did you suspect us when we took the rugs this morning? How were you looking at us? Did you look down at us? Sure you did. Amalahu, no. I'll tell you what I did. I said to myself, a case of ransoming captives must have happened in your family. In other words, maybe some of your daughters were attacked and they were captured in captivity. They were, what that means today. And it's very embarrassing to have to tell you that my daughter has been, because her status is now in question now. She can't marry a Kohen. Because a Kohen cannot marry a girl even if the girl was was raped. So they were very uncomfortable. This is what he thought. But really, you could have come straight and asked me for money for Pidyon Shui, but you were uncomfortable to ask me right away because it was a family member, let's say it was a daughter, and for women to be captured much worse than for men. Because they're violated much more often. That being the case, I figured I know why you're playing the game of having these rugs sold, because you were ashamed, uncomfortable to say, tell me the real story of Pidyon Shvuah. You want to redeem your captives, you want to ransom them. That's what I figured you're doing, and that's finally it's okay. It's not so okay because you're not allowed to steal to ransom somebody. Are you allowed to steal? Not so push it. But you know what? Look what he answered. Look what Abba Omna answered. He says like this. Amina pidyon shvuyim iklahu rabbanan. I said to myself, a case of ransoming captive must have come before the rabbis, meaning in your own family. You needed money to ransom some captives, but those captives were probably family members and probably females. But the rabbis were embarrassed to tell me about it, to openly ask me about the problem, and ask for the money openly. They were embarrassed to ask for the money openly. You therefore went through this entire charade to get me to give you the money by selling these rugs. On Roulette, they said to him, okay, wow, you're impressed. We're very impressed how you actually gave us the benefit of the doubt. But please take it back. No. The moment I already had in mind, I made this commitment in my mind to give it to you, even though I hadn't made any official, transaction. But because I had in mind to give it to you, I will not change, renege on my promise that I had in my mind. He says like this, From the moment that I concluded that you took the rugs to raise money for redeeming captives, that split second, I made a resolve. It's theirs. I put them out of my mind and assigned them to charity. Abaye had been distressed because he did not merit the daily heavenly greetings received by Abba the surgeon. The Gemara relates that Rava in turn was also distressed to learn that he did not merit the weekly greetings received by his colleague Abaye. Here we see when you make peace between people and you're careful with the laws of modesty and you're so kind in your work, this brings the Shekhinah down, by the way. So Rava felt very bad. Rava said, well, I understand, I'm not a surgeon, but what about Abaye? He got it every week. I only get once a year. Mistayef, they told him, Rava, you live in a very corrupt neighborhood. Rava lived in a city called Mechuzah. Bunch of bad people were there. But in Rava's chus, God forgave them. Which day is the day of forgiveness? Yom Kippur. Every Erev Yom Kippur, he'll get a greeting. Thanks to you, I'm atoning. In other words, I'm going to forgive them for their sins because of your chus. Because in his chus, people who didn't deserve any merit were forgiven on Yom Kippur. Therefore, Erev Yom Kippur, he would be he'd have a heavenly welcoming. That's enough for you. It should be enough for you. The gewaltige chus, tremendous chus that you protect the entire city. You need more than that. Knowing that you protect the entire city, that should make you happy enough. You don't need any extra chus. Or you can say perhaps like this: if you're going to ask for more, then there'll be prosecutions up there. Why is he asking for more? Is it not enough that he saves the whole town? He wants some more chusim. So you should be happy with the fact that you have this chus. Don't be jealous of Abaye. That's one story here. There's another story, a very interesting story. Gemara relates a story about the saintly deeds of some seemingly ordinary people. This is the whole gist, that even if a person seems to be ordinary, we're going to see about two comedians. So Rab Broka, his name was Baroka, and he would have Eliyahu Navi come to him like a regular visitor. Eliyahu Navi from Shemayim would come to visit Rabbi Broka. His name was Broka Chuzai. But Rab Broka Chuzah habashchir b'shuka de he was in the city. He was a frequent marketplace. He used to come very often to the marketplace of a city called Beit Lepet. Habashchir Eliyahu, the prophet, frequently appeared to him. Armaleh, once Rab Broka said to him, Ika b'hai shuka bar alma de osi. Is there anyone in this marketplace who is destined to the world to come? Now, what do you mean? Doesn't every Jew get the world to come? Doesn't every Jew? Call Yisrael. He meant not every Jew gets a chelik in the next world, but you have to go through a lot of bumpy roads over there to get to that. Is there anyone who is an automatic entrance to Gan Eden without having to go through any other types of refinement, punishment? And he says, no, I don't see anyone like that here. Armalei, Ika b'hai shuka bar alma diasi. Armalei, lo, I don't see anyone like that. Ada haki b'haki. In the meantime, on top of the next side, 22a1. In the meantime, he saw a certain man who was wearing black shoes, which was the style of those days. Today, the style is everyone wears black shoes. I mean, not everyone, but rabbis wear black shoes. The ones who don't wear black shoes are usually the fancy ones, right? The chilled out guys. But we wear black shoes. But in those days, it was kind of a style, non-Jewish style to wear black shoes. And he's not wearing tzitzis. No tzitzis sticking out. So he did not appear to be Jewish. To Rab Broka. See this guy over there without the tzitzis? And he's wearing non-Jewish clothing? That's the guy who has a free entrance to Gan Eden. He's called Bar Alma de Osi. Hi, Bar Alma de Osihu. This person is destined for the world to come. It's a given. Rad Basre, Rab Broka ran after him to find out more about him. Like Baal Shem Tov stories, to find Baal Shem Tov usually often hear that there's some simple person in the city who had a greater Rosh Hashanah than you did, or a greater Pesach Seder than you did, and was able to accomplish more. Really? I'd like to know who that is. You have a story here. They were running after, who's this guy? He's not even wearing tzitzis. Rod Basrei, Amalei, my Uvdach. He reached him. He ran after him and got him. My Uvdach, what do you do? Amalei, I have no time to talk to you. Go away today. Leave me alone right now and come back tomorrow if you want to talk. But told him, Lamocha Amalei, and the next day he came, okay, it's tomorrow now. Now you have time? And he asked him, my uvda, what do you do? Amalei, zan dukana ana. I am a jail guard. And I made sure I'm a warden. But asrinu gavri lechud v'nashi lechud. I incarcerate the men separately and the women separately on a different side of a jail, so they don't mix. But amina puryai bein hani lahani, and I put my bed. I sleep right there. I place my bed between the men and the women, so they don't pull around. Ki heichid loleise l'dei isura, so that they should not come to do what is forbidden. Ki chazina bas Yisrael, when I see an imprisoned Jewish girl whom the Gentile wardens are focusing their attention on, masarna nafshoi umatzilnala, I risk my life to save her. Yom Echad, one day, there was a betrothed Jewish girl amongst the prisoners. What?
You have another copy, please.
Sure.
So much.
You're welcome. Yeah. So the middle of the right side of the page on 22A3, or at least A3. Yeah, so I noticed a Jewish girl who was actually betrothed, who was married, somehow she was put into prison for doing nothing wrong. The a woman who's in prison is not in a good shape. The Yoavu Ba Nachrim and these wild hoodlums were looking at her and about to violate her, and on whom the gentle were focusing their attention on, up to no good. Shakli Durdaya de Chamra, I took the lees of red wine that looks very much like blood, which Daya and threw at them on the lower part of her skirt to make it appear blood stained, as if she is, menstruating. But Amri Distinahu, and I said to them, not good idea. I also would, but I don't think it's a good idea right now. She's actually going through a, and that stopped them from attacking her, which could have saved her life also. After discovering that the man indeed was a worthy person, Rabbi sought an explanation for his unconventional dress. Why are you not wearing tzitzis? And why are you dressed like a goy? Amalei Rabbi said to them, my time less lachuti. Why don't you have tzitzis on your clothes? Because they would have the clothing, the tzitzis would be worn outside. We don't see it. They would wear a four-begged garment and a four-cornered garment, and there's no tzitzis. And why are you wearing these shoes, stylish shoes that non-Jews wear? Baramit Masani Uchmi, you're wearing these black shoes, which are not the shoes that Jews usually wear. Amalei, Ailanav and Afikna Beninachrim. I come and go among the Gentiles, and I therefore do not wear tzitzis or the customary Jewish footwear, so that they should not know that I am a Jew, because my job is to save lives. I do this that whenever they make a decree that is detrimental to Jews, I inform the rabbis immediately, and they pray. And they pray for divine mercy and annul their decrees. So why didn't you, my time, how come yesterday we came to you, you said you're too busy, what were you doing? My time, why when I said to you, what do? You told me I'm busy now. The next page, and you said, the wrong page, I guess. Yeah, you have the right page. This page over here. It's 22A2 actually. Actually, the other one was A2. This one's A3, but it says 22A2 on it. You see it? So he said, "Why did you tell us to go away?" I'll tell you why. He said to Rabroka, at that moment there was a decree just issued against the Jews. The Amina Beresha, I don't have time. Azel the Ashman, I was running to the Beis HaMedrash, running to the rabbis. The Ashman of the Rabbanan, I said to myself, let me first go and inform the rabbis. Liboy Rachmi Allah the Milsa, so they should pray for divine mercy concerning this matter. And that's why I had no time to talk with you. And I didn't stop until I made sure that the Zeta of the decree was annulled. Therefore, I did not have time to converse with you. Now, listen to this. Rabroka is introduced to two other persons destined for the world to come. Listen to what the Gemara says here. A very famous Gemara. The Rebbe has a whole sikh on this Gemara. Eliyahu Navi tells Rabbi Broka, oh, I have some more people. These two people are also admitted to Ilm Haba right away on the spot. They're Ben Ilm Haba. No need for any going through any harsh punishments. They are shoo-ins. Who are these people? Ada Hachi Bahachi. In the meantime, these two other came by the marketplace. Asi Amalelio came again and said to Rabboka, here they go. Hanachnami, these are also B'nai Almada Asininu. These two are destined for the world to come. Also Gabayo, he went up to them. Rabboka went up to them. Who are you? Amalu Mayum Daichu. What do you do? Amruleh, they said to him, Inshi Baduchi Anan. We are comedians. We're very happy people. Some comedians today are the ones that are most depressed. We are happy people. We're never sad. We always have a happy face. And we make other people, we can't tolerate when other people are not happy. And we mavdechinon atzivi. We go to cheer up those who are depressed. Inami, kichazinon beitrei, the islo tigra ba'adaya. Whenever we see two people involved in a quarrel, we do what Aaron HaKohen does. Tarchinon va'avdinon lehushlamah. We strive hard to make peace between them. We are peacemakers. We love peace. We love happiness. These are people who never get tired of being happy, which is why it fits to get Olam Haba. What's Olam Haba? It's a pleasure if it has nothing, no negative side to it. Food, you like food, but too much is no good, right? You feel sick afterwards, and you get used to it. It's not even a beautiful melody. You hear it time and time and time and time again. Okay, I heard that. Try next note. But Tainug Gan Eden is always joyous. You can't get tired of it. It's impossible to get bored and tired. The word boring is a very important word in the dictionary. It's the longest word in the English dictionary. How do you spell boring? B-O-O-O-O-O-O-O-O, boring. There's no such thing as boring, even though it's a Tainug comedy. A constant pleasure gets boring after a while, yeah? This doesn't get boring. Someone who's always happy, never shows signs of sadness no matter what's going on in their lives, this person belongs in Olam Haba. Of course, they were observant too, but they weren't big scholars. They were not probably know anything. They knew very little, but they knew that you have to be always b'simcha. So these are two people that neither of them were scholars, neither of them were great rabbis or great, but they did such meritorious deeds that they are, in Eliyahu Navi's view, which is the view of Hashem, they are a shoo-in to Olam Haba. Straight in the Gan Eden they go after they pass away. Okay, that's the end of the Gemara, actually, that we have planned to learn for today. First time we ever finished before the class is over, so now we have time for break. That's the next 10 minutes. 10 to 12? Okay. On Tuesday, I was talking about Chabad has much more success in Kiruv than the rest of the world does. They can't figure it out. My brother, younger brother I have, lives in South Jersey, and he's a chazan in the shul. The rabbi of the shul is a non-Orthodox rabbi, very, I don't know the word in English, he knows how to talk. An expert orator, oratory skills. Yeah, the congregation, 30, 40 people come, maybe sometimes 50 on Shabbos. That's it. And it's stagnant, no growth. My brother has a son, a nephew. Ben Yochid actually has 9 children, 8 girls and 1 boy. This is the only boy he has. And this boy is an amazing shliach, working for a guy whose last name is Shapiro, father lived in Crown Heights. And he couldn't talk English very well. He could only Torah English, Can you borrow me some money? That's wrong English. Can you lend me money? You don't borrow me money. You borrow, and the person who gives you is lending. But you don't learn English very well. Can you borrow me money? So he didn't know how to speak very well. And his success is incredible. They built a new shul, and they're breaking through a scene. The shul has 500 seats, and in the summer, it's packed. And the rabbi, can't figure out why is he more successful. He can't talk to save his life. That's the model. Now he's learning it. Now he has learned how to talk. Why the success? But he doesn't understand we have a Rebbe. The Rebbe makes us into pilots, not into surgeons. There's a surgeon and there's a pilot. What's the difference? A surgeon, you often, when you ask for surgery, especially if it's a heart surgery or brain surgery, you don't just take anybody. recommendations. You ask people around, you know this guy? How many stars? How many, you look online. Now you say you look online and find out how good is he or she. And if it's not so, next. You don't take a chance with your life. What could be malpractice? Malpractice happens. When you go on a plane, you ask who's the pilot. You care. You don't want a Muhammad on the pilot, probably. But you're not going to go ahead and make find out who I want to plane. I have to find out who the pilot's going to be, and I have to look him up. How come? Plane can also crash. Probably just as much often as a surgery going, not going well. So why is it that when it comes to surgery, no problem? Yeah, I mean, on the contrary, you have what you look into it, you do investigations, you don't take any surgeon. And a pilot, you don't ask any questions. So one answer told me, because on a plane, you're not alone. You feel, misery likes company. You feel if everyone else is taking this plane. No, the real answer is, if the pilot doesn't succeed, he goes down with it. That's why. Because the pilot is not just your mentor, and he's above you, he's with you, he lives with you, he's every little thing that happens in your life. You call him up in the middle of the night, he's your shliach. That's what a shliach really is. Someone who lives with all the pain and suffering, the people that he's mentoring, that he's teaching. He doesn't just act as a teacher, 9 to 5 job, okay? I'll teach you Torah. He is their pilot. He's flying with you. He's on the same plane you're on. But in order for us to feel that way, for that you need a Rebbe. The Rebbe is one who gives us the koyach to act like a pilot, not like a surgeon. This I heard from Rabbi Y.Y. Jacobson. Very interesting. I don't know where he got it from, but I found it very interesting. The Rebbe gives all of us the ability to be pilots and not, I will take care of you. You'll follow, I will teach you. I'll teach you, Chumash. I'll teach you how to be religious. I'll teach you this. But don't try calling me in my off hours. I need my vacation. Shliach does not have vacation. The Rebbe has no vacation. The Rebbe never went on vacation ever. The complaint of the Rebbe you need. The Rebbe sat down on a rocking chair for about 10 seconds. Yoitza, I was just Yoitza. I fulfilled my vacation for 10 seconds sitting on a rocking chair. The Rebbe for 44 years, even while he was sick with a heart attack, never ever left his business of being in 770 and the oil in 770 and the oil. Yes, the Rebbe went to camp to speak. Well, we didn't go to camp to visit. Went to camp for praying with the boys and for praying with the girls. They split in Camp Amuna and Camp Gan Yisrael 3 times. That's it. Never ever left his office. This didn't happen to any of the other Rebbes, by the way. Even the other Rebbeim, Chabad Rebbeim, did for their health take a vacation. The Rebbe never took a vacation for one day. So the Rebbe gives us the koyach that we should not, on the same level, also try to become no time for vacation. Your life is our life. That's what a shliach is all about. We're not here for ourselves. We're here for you. If it'd be for ourselves, we wouldn't be here at all. We'd try to, much more comfortable things to do in life than being a shliach. Not easy to be a shliach. Brendos. No, it's not bad. We have 2 minutes. Anyone have any questions? Keep going. Good question. So good I came in here.
Don't have a question for you guys talking.
Didn't.
Can I give you?
What can I say? No.
Okay.
Wasn't expecting anything.
So each girl made a mug with pictures for the little projects we did. It's never been total.
What?
Yeah. But it's a thank you for an amazing year from all the girls.
Not over yet. I have one more class.
I know, yeah, but so we want
You told me that's not right. Thank you. Here's your present and goodbye. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is it. Here. There are a lot of very interesting stories in this tractate, Masechta, which I didn't get a chance to learn this year. Yeah. Well,
Advice for, like, let's say we got books from Gemara
yeah,
that
what?
we are, if we want to learn Gemara on our own or with a Habrisa this summer,
Yeah.
do you have any like advice on if we haven't learned it ourselves?
I don't know, a good idea to learn Gemara. I mean, there's so many other important things that are relevant more than Gemara, but I would, but, halakha, the Shulchan Aruch laws of Shabbos, which is, if you're gonna choose, I would choose that. Gemara learning class, but I'm saying to learn, make a chavrus with Gemara, I don't know about that. I'm not so sure that's the right thing to do.
What if we were paid for babysitting with tractates on Shabbos? And we have them already.
Someone gave you a whole.
I got two
article
volumes.
of Tractate Shabbos?
Yeah.
Well, I just mentioned the other day that on page 116 talks about our parsha. So
It was crazy I got the project because I got paid like one night
they
later.
pay you with the Gemara?
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
I wouldn't mind getting paid like that, but that's how you pay? They didn't pay you with cash? So,
They weren't there. And they're people that I care about.
okay. Very interesting. A wonderful, wonderful year, whatever's left of it. Yeah, I can't, it's hard to breathe because there's too many people in this room.
Did I leave?
No.
Oh, Mr. Director.
Oh, thank you. Greenberg, will you be here next Shabbos?
What?
Will you be here next Shabbos?
Yeah.
Okay,
What's next Shabbos?
lots,
No?
lots,
What?
lots of things, Baruch Hashem. But
Why are you asking me if I'll be in next Shabbos?
no reason.
Okay. You want to join us for a meal? Is that what you're asking?
I'll let you know later.
Okay. Something else, see how many secret you have out there. Figuring it out.
Have a good Shabbos. Oh, duh. Okay, wait. Okay.